No big deal, just two interconnected stories. They carry within them a profound message about rediscovery, inheritance, and the beauty of embracing lost art. Imagine, for a moment, a canvas that tells the story through the art of burning. Yes, I'm talking about the ancient Chinese traditional craft of pyrography, or as it's more commonly known in English, wood burning, in which the artist uses a hand-heated poker to burn on ground wood or other materials such as sandpaper, scale cloth, or bamboo to draw. Due to its unique techniques, pyrography distinguishes colors in variations of black, brown, tea, and yellow. It is precisely because of this diversity that pyrography art excludes an ancient, misty charm, embodying a profound and tranquil aesthetic, creating a poetic scenery. It is said, in the dusk of Western Han Dynasty, within the city of Nanyang, there was a renowned pyrography artist named Li Wen. His mastery of the art form was so exceptional that no matter it was a ruler, chopsticks, a cane, a pendant, or any other object, under his deft touch, they transformed into lifelike figures, and therefore he was hailed as Li Lao Hua. As Wang Mang, a consort king who unspurs the Western Han Dynasty and creates Xin Dynasty, pursues Eastern Han Dynasty's future emperor Liu Xiu. One day, while Li Wen was resting under a large tree near the Purple Mountain, northwestern of Nanyang, he meets Liu Xiu, who had just fled from pursuers. Li Wen, a quick-witted and kindly-hearted, distinguishes Liu Xiu and disguises Liu Xiu as a beggar and hide him from his pursuers, ultimately saving his life, and also inquisitively crafted a pyrography ground to help him pay for his journey. And that is how pyrography was designated as a tribute and reaches its peak in Eastern Han Dynasty. However, time swiftly passes, and era changes. The once glorious art was vanished without a trace. And amidst the turmoil and strife, leaving only a mention in the annals of history, the art of pyrography was lost until the Qing Dynasty. I never had in mind that we know such an art. And this is where our first story begins. A story of discovery and inheritance. Several years ago, when I was surfing online for an art project, just like it was meant to be, a piece of work caught my eye: pyrography. It was a painting of traditional Chinese landscape, and with a canvas of wood, rugged due to burning, the wood colors spread, thick and thin, thick as peaks and valleys and thin like a cloud. Before engaging in such an art form, I never had this kind of devotion to a craft that has brought me such peace and sanctity. So I bought myself the machine, just like buying color pens, and so began my journey to pyrography like a boy first tried drawing. But it was very hard. They would shrink like sponge under the poker, and dark shadow pit formed under the red hot pen, which felt like an uncooled lava stone holding my hand. A pagan scent of burning fire would flow from the dark pit, visible as a white smoke, into the air, thick and hot, searing my eyes. The surface of wood turns lumpy and dark, with no changes in the thickness of the color seeming. Frustrated, I had to put on goggles and gloves. I hesitated under this kind of difficulties. But I knew one thing. I did not want to lose this astonishing art of myself. So I carried on. And now, here I am, telling my story of pyrography to you. Parenthetically, I'm lucky that I'm not alone. On the journey to the intoxicating vision of the burning art, as several years passed, I encountered my master, who had taught me a lot. So I began to master the skills of pyrography. As you can see here shown, these are my works, as I always prefer to phrase them from going of a wild growth stage to advance to a well-cultivated stage. But that was not all about art. I have always believed that it was a gift that originates from centuries and centuries ago. But there was almost a time when the art was lost forever. Which brings me to my second story of rediscovery of pyrography. So please will you picture yourself in a Balkan area where creativity was injected by the embers of a pipe. It was the year 1877, during the region of Chinese Qing dynasty, when the art of pyrography had been lost for hundreds of years. In the tranquil city of Nanyang, a skilled artist named Zhou found himself captivated by a unique inspiration after indulging into the pleasure of opium. Intriguingly, it was not a traditional brush that Zhou wielded, but rather the burning opium pipe scraping knife. With a heated fever, he used this burning scraping knife as his brush and the steam as his canvas, a painting form. And that is how the art of pyrography was rediscovered. Zhao Xingsan's artistic journey did not halt with that singular creation. So driven by the passion to explore his refined techniques, Zhao Xingsan expanded his experiments to various wooden canvas. Each stroke he made, each artistic vision he brought to life, further solidified his mastery of this unique pyrographic art form. Over time, Zhao Xingsan meticulously honored his craft, uncovering the secret of the comprehensive set of pyrography techniques. But what triggers me the most is the highly coincidence between my story and the history of the rediscovery of pyrography. I had known nothing about this intangible cultural heritage of pyrography, as I set my sights on the art preliminary with our master with tutoring, like Zhao Xingsan from 150 years ago. And now I realize that this is called a heritage. This is the treasure of traditional culture left to us by our ancestors and from thousands of years earlier. And it is also what we should inherit and carry forward. And this kind of passing on does not require any prerequisites, but rather a collision of souls that spans over centuries and millennia. But I also feel grateful, for there's a soul of pyrography within my reach. And may I introduce my master to you, Liang Hanjian. My master specializes in grout pyrography, 火绘葫芦. During my practice, my master always requires me to draw a pencil draft on the grout by hand, rather than other technical approaches such as using a projector or using copy transfer lead. Without this, he says that we were so lost. These are some of his works. For example, let me introduce to you. There are 钟馗, 观音, 蓝采和, and some flower paintings. And also some animal figures and shanxi sceneries. That's all about my master. But there's one thing, a characteristic of pyrography that I like very much. As your hot pen touches the canvas of wood, the mark is then long-lasting and cannot be removed. For such an eternity, it's our duty to keep the skill of the art never lost. My idea worth spreading is that each of us possess the capability to ensure the everlasting heritage of our traditional culture, especially the intangible cultural heritage, as well as the power to preserve a resplendent artistic expression from being lost, from fading into oblivion. And there's no threshold between you and any art. At last, I want to say, that pyrography is such an art of heat, an art born by the hottest, the most enthusiastic method, but which withdraws the most tranquil, the most artistic conception of all. Above all, I wish pyrography to be the art of never lost. Thank you.